Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of the Town of Belgrade Board of Select Persons to order. And we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and we have 4 of 5 select persons here, so that does establish a quorum. Dan is not going to be able to be here tonight, so we will just proceed along. We start our meeting always with a period of time for public comment. If there's something that you'd like to bring to the attention of the board that is not on the agenda, or that you would like for us to know about, this would be a time to make your comments. We will, in general, do not act on them tonight, but we would bring them forward. So is there anything that anyone wants to bring to the attention of the board? Okay, hearing an overwhelming quiet, we will move along. And we will start with to review and approve the minutes of May 29th. And for the select board, I did find my cheat sheet with the times in it, so. The motion to exit executive session was made by Terrell Johnson at 7:59 and seconded by Peter Rushton. The vote was 5-0. And they went back into regular session, no action was taken. And then the minutes are correct. The motion to adjourn at 8 p.m. by Chairman Terrell Johnson, seconded by Vice Chair Peter Rushton. The vote was 5-0. Are there any additions or corrections? Other than that, I move we approve the minutes as corrected.
Second.
All in favor, Melanie?
Yes.
Yes. Barbara?
Yes.
I'll vote yes, so that's 4 and 1 absent. The next thing is to approve the minutes from the select board meeting on June 18th at a regular meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes?
I didn't see anything.
Huh?
I didn't see anything.
Nothing jumped out at me when I reviewed them.
Yeah, the only thing I saw, which was on page 3, and this was just my brain thinking differently. The sheriff's payment should be credited to the, that the location, that expenditure was the Center for All Seasons, not the town office. So it still is coded under general government. Remember, we had that just corrected.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
read that we thought the payment was going to change. It was just the coding of the location of that. But that's the only thing I had.
So Carol, is that a minor edit then?
Just amended.
Okay, all right.
Are there any other amendments to it or credits?
Otherwise, I make the motion of the approve the meeting minutes as amended.
Okay, second that. All in favor, Barbara?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. Vote is 4, nothing with 1 absent. Okay, and then the minutes of the meeting of June 25th. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, I move we approve the minutes of June 25th.
Second?
All in favor, Melanie?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes, so 4 yeses and 1 absent. So, because we do not have a full board, out of respect for, some folks that are going to be, working on, the resident petition, I, would move that we take under new business, the resident petition out of order. And that we do it, act on that first. Can I have I move that?
I will second that.
Okay, all in favor, Barbara?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Okay. So we will open discussion of the resident petition. And we'll open it in that I would move that because we do not have a full board and it's an important petition, that we postpone that until our next meeting when we do have a full board to act on something as important as we have with 300 signatures or almost 300 signatures on that. Yes.
So my name's Mike Rowe. I have a question. I'm trying to find out if your town has a fund balance policy,
Has a what?
a fund balance policy.
Can we deal with?
Yeah, let me take out, so can I have a second for my motion?
Second.
Okay, so. Can I, all in favor, Melanie,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
myself, so it's 4 yes and
Yes, to table the.
to table it, yeah. But if you want to tell us your question, we can make.
Yeah, I was just curious if the community has a fund balance policy for unrestricted funds. I mean, a lot of communities do. You know, municipal.
I do not believe we do,
We don't have anything in writing.
right, no. Okay. So we wanted to respect your time, so that the resident petition, we will discuss at our next board meeting. Because we wanted to have a full board. So, yes,
When will that be?
2 weeks from tonight, be the July 16th. And that's why I wanted to take it out of order, so you didn't sit all the way through and then find out that we were gonna postpone it for that reason. Okay.
I appreciate you taking it out of order, but why do you need to have the full board here?
I think it's an important petition that a number of people are interested in, and I think the full board should weigh in on it. That's my opinion. I think the
I
board-
agree. I think it's very important. We want to make sure that there is not just consensus, but full understanding and having a chance for people to weigh in, both from the board and from the town.
Okay. Okay, so we will then go back to unfinished business. So the first item under unfinished business is the Cathedral Pines streetlight request. Lorna? You,
So you've looked at this a couple of times. What we've added is a letter from our road commissioner for the policy. And I received the list of streetlights in Belgrade from CMP. They provided latitude and longitude coordinates, so I was able to plug those in online to get street addresses, and then I created a map in Google Maps to show you where all of those are. And I could find a couple on one end of the road, and I think there was one a little further up. But that was it, and 2 of those are CMP, not Town of Belgrade owned.
okay, all right. So I know we also now have a recommendation from Jason Stevens that we do not approve the request. His letter is attached. Do we need to read that into the record or not?
It's in the packet.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
I get Jason's letter here. Oops. Here we go. June 27th, 2024, to the Board of Select Persons. I am familiar with the Cathedral Pines Lane area and appreciate the association submitting a request for a streetlight at that location. I do not, however, feel it is necessary and do not support the board approving this request. It would set a precedent for other private roads. The association could purchase and install the light if they would like to proceed. Jason Stevens, Road Commissioner, Town of Belgrade. And we also have do we have, is the one from DOT new? The DOT?
No, that was just an email from Peter
Okay,
Hoffman. But we had that at the last meeting.
we had that the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason's is the new one. that-
Right.
Yes.
Right,
Okay,
we were looking for that one.
so,
So I have been driving around Belgrade with my list of all these locations, and I commend Lorna for doing that amazing computer sleuthing turn all these latitude and longitudes into a map that we could see. And I couldn't find any intersections where there's a street light at the intersection of a public road with a private road. These all, unless there's one that's older than me, but all the ones that I found seem to be an intersection with a public road and a public road. So my concern is if we do pay for the street light and then pay for the ongoing electricity for one private road, what's to stop 88 other private roads coming to the town and asking for streetlights? So I just want to raise that point,
Okay,
which I
Any-
guess is what
any other
Jason said in
discussion?
terms of setting a precedent.
setting a precedent, yeah, yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up, Barbara. I do not disagree at all, and I do not oppose this line of thinking. It's important for the town to operate with fiscal responsibility. I do want to, however, state that having grown up on that road, knowing what it's like to come out on that road to intersect with the public road, that is a safety concern for many people who come out and intersect there. So I appreciate what they were doing in asking for ways to increase safety or reduce risk at that intersection. And I'm hopeful that they can come up with, if we vote this down, the request down, I'm hopeful that the folks that live down at Cathedral Pines can come up with a solution that's viable and not too costly for them, that still meets the safety concern that they have.
Mhm.
Technology's come a long way.
So
It's right, exactly.
put a solar lamp there that's motion activated, well, you could just have it that's there, dusk to dawn.
Certainly. So there are some other options, not to dismiss the request at all when I'm talking about this. It is very important. And like I said, I grew up there. I know what it's all about, and I know what the concerns are. So that's it.
Any other discussion? Anyone? Yeah. Okay, in light of that, I would move that we recommend that we do not install a street light at that intersection. And recommend that they consider doing that as an association expense.
Second,
Any further discussion? All in favor, Melanie,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Barbara?
yes,
And I'll vote yes, so that's 4 yeses to not install the light and one
at town expense.
at town expense, yes, at town expense. Okay. The next item to discuss is tree service bids. And we have, Lorna, do you wanna?
Sure, you had this, your meeting last week, the successful, proposal that came in, All Seasons was not here. Jason is on Zoom tonight so that you can ask him questions. He was the only, bidder. And his pricing is the same, as the previous year.
As a
There
previous
was
year?
no increase.
Okay,
Yeah, because that was a question we had last time.
Yes.
What
Right.
would it increase?
Yes.
is the pricing the same?
Then you have the last contract and the current bid,
Right.
in your packet.
Any discussion? Anyone have any questions of Jason? I think, Jason, our question last week was the price staying the same? And apparently it is, so that's great news.
Yep.
Okay, I move that we approve or award the all-season tree service, the bid from them to do our tree service work.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, Barbara,
Yes,
Melanie,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. So that's 4 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you, Jason. We look forward to another year for your service.
Laura, is there any way on that that we can see the other folks that are here? Because we've got 3 views of just this room. Is there a,
I've got it on gallery.
Because usually it's.
If you go down to the bottom, I think I see participants
Down, way down, right
right
here.
there, if you click
Yeah.
that. okay,
Yeah,
I
there we
think
go.
See
I
the
just-
list?
Yeah,
Is
Yeah,
that
we can see,
helpful?
we can't see them,
That
up
is,
here,
yeah.
but we can see there's a bunch of people.
and I think there is a question or a comment or something in chat, which is just to the right of the icon that said participants at the bottom. So
Down
you
here?
go to the middle.
To the middle,
of
the-
it,
Oh, I'm
right
sorry.
there, yeah, and then. okay,
Oh,
someone
geez.
said-
Jason said
Thank
thank you.
You're welcome.
It took
Okay.
us a minute to get there, but you're welcome.
Okay, the next item of business is the Center for All Seasons Strategic Planning Committee. Lorna?
So you discussed this at your January 2 meeting, and I pulled the minutes, so I'll read that, what was put into record. This should be a two-step process. First, create a building committee to explore what needs to be done, and then put out an RFP for an engineer. The work should include a 5 and 10-year plan to identify work that needs to be done, focusing on safety items as immediate needs. The committee should include a select board member, Melanie Jewell volunteered, Recreation Director Dan McGlashing, a retired plumber, electrician or contractor, someone independent from the public, Emergency Officer Jeremy Dameron, and Facilities Maintenance Manager Corey Alexander.
Okay.
So that would be someone from the public who's independent from the town.
Yeah,
Yes,
Right,
yes.
yeah, just not an independent person.
Steady, old buddy.
Independent from what?
Okay, so, does everyone agree that that makeup still makes sense? And if so, then I know we have a couple of appointments tonight to work on starting to fill those pieces. So, so we have Melanie, Dan, Corey. Has anyone spoken to Jeremy? I have not.
I have not.
Corey, you have, so he's on board?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're looking for, a retired plumber, electrician or contractor. And a person who's independent from the town and the public.
We have a couple of people.
And we do have a couple
appointments, so
people
they
here,
might
so-
fill, they might fill the bill.
So we may just be all filled up, so. So, if there's no other discussion on that, I would move, we go ahead and open new business. And move to committee appointments.
Second that.
Okay, the first appointment we have is for Sharon Neto. To go on the Center for All Seasons Strategic Planning Committee. Sharon, do you have anything you would like to tell us about why you like to do this?
Well, it's interesting to me. I spend a lot of time there in the Historical Society room. And Corey and I have talked a few times about it, and Dan and I have as well. And I think it will be an important committee and interesting at the same
Okay,
time.
So, I would move that we appoint Sharon to the Center for All Seasons Strategic Planning Committee.
Second that.
Melanie seconds. Any other discussion?
No. I think
Anyone
that-
have any questions for
No,
Sharon?
I think it's great that Sharon has a relationship with the building already. for the
Yeah.
Historical Society.
Yes.
And I'll try to be independent.
Yeah.
Probably have seen stuff that the rest of us.
Yes,
haven't
yes.
noticed. Usually when we go, we're like, oh.
Yes, I'm assuming you're not a retired plumber, contractor, or electrician.
I'm not.
You're not.
Okay.
Okay.
Be independent from the public. Perfect.
Okay, did we vote? We didn't vote.
Nice.
Okay, all in favor, Melanie?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes,
I'll vote yes. That's 4 yeses, 1 absent, and thank you very much for stepping forward.
Thank you.
You know, as we look at this, that Center for All Seasons, which is a wonderful asset. Having a strategic plan is going to be so important moving forward.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And then we also have Corbin Finton. Is Corbin here?
He's not, is he online?
no,
He's not.
You wanna text him,
I
maybe?
don't have his cell phone, I just have his phone.
I'm looking to see if maybe I'm getting Nancy's. Nope.
Okay, let's, move along and maybe he will show up. So the next, appointment is the appointment of Cheryl Poole to the senior research. Huh?
Charlene.
Charlene, sorry, Charlene, to the, Senior Resource Committee. Is Charlene online?
She is not.
She is not? Okay. So we'll need to, see if she doesn't pop in the next couple of minutes, we'll have to hold on that one.
Tell Sharon that she needs to sit here.
Sharon, you'll need to, meet with, Mary to be sworn in.
Oh, Mary,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'll come over tomorrow.
No, I won't.
It's
because I'll-
Wednesday. Friday, I'll be.
Okay, May Ann Bush. Okay,
I mean,
Hi,
hi, nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too.
So our next appointment is for May Ann Bush to the Senior Resource Committee. Anything you'd like to tell us from your interest in this committee?
Yeah, when I was to, May and Bush, we're pretty new to Maine, year and a half. And when we moved, I says, when we move and we retire, I'm throwing myself into the town. I wanna get involved in the community. I don't wanna be just in my house. And, when I went to vote, somebody approached me about it, and I thought, okay, I guess we were talking about crafts, and I'm a craft person, I'm a quilter, I'm a cross stitcher. I own an online needlework business, and so they invited me to apply, so.
I was just over here thinking, she's gonna bring such cool stuff to the table.
Okay, so I move that we appoint May Ann Bush to the Senior Resource Committee.
I'll second that.
Second, any other discussion, questions?
I do.
All in favor,
The
Melanie?
only other question
Oh.
I had is that Mayanne was also looking for the lakes and natural
Yep.
resources and the Board of Parks and Recreation. So,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, yeah,
It hasn't gone to those committees yet.
okay.
Yes. that's why
okay,
it's
so this
only
is
on
just for
this
Senior
one.
Resource Committee.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So all in favor, Melanie?
Yes,
Peter?
yes.
Barbara?
yes,
I vote yes, thank you and welcome,
thank you.
welcome. I love craft people. I have a house full of unfinished ones, but
Oh, you do too, you already want to know, we don't want to go there.
Yeah,
no one wants to go there.
I think crafts, not craft
Oh,
people.
crap.
Yeah.
I mean, craft, not crap.
Yeah, no, I don't have a house full of craft people.
In other words, you have a bunch of UFOs in your house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Morgan
Okay.
is unavailable.
So he's unavailable, so we'll need to postpone his, I move we
Yeah.
table Corbin Finland's application till next meeting.
Second.
Second, all in favor, Melanie?
Oh, I don't know. You go first? Yes.
Okay, Peter?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes,
I'll vote yes. So 4 yeses and 1 absent. And then, Richard,
Charlene, do you want this one?
oh, is Charlene here?
No.
I thought maybe she'll pop in before we.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Richard, von Eiderstein? Either of you gentlemen? Is he online?
No.
He is not.
He is not, okay. In that case, since we haven't had anyone else pop in.
Make a motion to table Richard's application to the next meeting as well.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, Melanie,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Barbara?
yes,
Yep, and also, I move that we postpone Charlene Poole's appointment till next meeting.
Second.
All in favor, Melanie,
Yes.
Peter?
Yeah.
Barbara?
yes.
I vote yes, so it's 4 yeses, 0 absent.
And then will we just reach out to those folks and let them know?
Yes.
Right,
To the next
yeah.
one.
Yes.
See if we can get that
Please.
completed. Okay, and then, Lorna, other appointments that we just need to read into the record?
Yes, Eric Johnson, you asked about him at the last meeting. He serves as an animal control officer in 2 other towns, I believe it's Mount Vernon and So he will serve as a backup for Jeff if Jeff needs to have time away or would like to take a vacation or anything like that. He is certified. And then Mary Vogel as tax collector. We made the decision to appoint her for the tax commitment that was just done.
That was just done.
Instead of having Nick do it and then do paperwork to recommit to someone else, so.
All right, so this is just, you read those in the records,
ma'am.
well,
Yes.
okay. Okay,
Can I just ask a quick question while we're on the
sure.
treasurer thing? Do we, I know we had talked about maybe trying to find a bookkeeper who could fill in the middle. Do we have anyone that we've reached out to?
I actually have someone that we will be interviewing very early next week. And they sound very promising. Oh,
Okay, so if not, let's have our backup plan.
Yes.
Because we're gonna need something.
yes. Yeah, Mary and I are plugging away at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? That's it, okay. Under new business, once a month, we have a report from one of our department committees, and tonight we have Ken Shano here to update us on the transfer station.
I'm a little shy, can I say?
Oh, stop.
You can come on, come on.
iPhone.
In the front row, Ken. That's all you do.
Zoom, and I said,
Oh, yeah, every Zoom meeting, we're like,
What
what's that?
shirt you have on?
It is nice shirt. It is very nice, very nice shirt.
which wins?
We didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I made them. Designed them. I
Oh,
didn't
you,
make the t-shirt.
So
oh,
where do
I thought
where do
you
you
said you
sell
made
them
it.
at?
Yeah. Ooh,
I'm
she's sitting there at
Where do you
night.
sell them at?
We're not, but I ordered enough for all the staff. Yeah, but we could probably put a order in if we had enough
It's a
people.
little small.
It's 20, you said you're extra large, and so I gave you the benefit of the doubt. and it's large.
That's now on video.
Okay.
No, not the video.
I'm so glad you're.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah, you really do.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, update, so
I gotta
you
have
guys know we're working on the
24.
3, 5, and 10-year plan. I don't know if you've seen
Order.
this yet, but I'm gonna give everybody a copy.
Thank you.
Well, everybody over here, sorry, guys.
Thank you, Ken. I felt like a broken record with us.
You are.
I'm so glad.
You-
You're right.
I have one in here.
What's the broken record?
I said, I felt like a broken record for years saying we need a 2, 3, 5, 10-year plan.
So we've been working on this quite vigorously, I'd say. So in the 3 to 5 year plan, everything on here except for the last 2 items are either done or in the process of being done right now. The bathroom floor will go in week after next on the 12th. As long as Drew shows up and takes the plumbing out, so we can have the floor done. That'll be done. Corey had the porta potty dropped off today. The safety rails, all the rails have been welded, they're in place. We just have to put up the fencing now, paint it, and then put up the fencing. It'll look beautiful. Give us another, next week's a short week, so give us 2 weeks. It'll look beautiful. Other than that, working with Corey, we've spotted a few other things that we're looking at doing. Like I said, it's kind of a living document, so we're gonna keep on updating it as things come up. We have kind of a drainage issue with the trash, so it'll stink really bad. I don't know if the ground is sinking underneath the compactor, but it's building up water. It's really getting bad. And I can't afford to buy enough bleach to kill that smell, so.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do something. Corey and I were looking at it. We're gonna come up with a plan to fix that. And I don't know if we're gonna have enough, be able to do it this year or not, but that's gonna be added to the 3 to 5 year plan. What else are we looking at? Oh, gates.
Oh, yeah,
The fence has to be repaired at the front of the transfer station, so we're gonna be looking at that soon also. Other than that, updates, it's summer,
Busy.
it's busy, it's getting real busy, so.
You have purchased a 50-yard compactor. What do we have now?
We have 50 yard,
Okay,
45,
oh, okay,
but the 50 yard one is quite old. So
okay.
we just had to purchase, was it 2 years ago?
I was gonna say, that's why I was
3
just
years ago,
wondering.
we purchased.
But it seems like it was, shouldn't have been any more than two, because I know we had a discussion about the sizes on something. And it had the wonky side, the welded round, and we,
Yeah, we sent it back,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
because
sent
it
it back, so
was
it seems
leaking,
like
so it was probably
maybe
2
in the
years
last 2
ago.
years, yeah.
But the existing 50 yard container it's getting, I'm figuring it's probably gonna last us another 5 years, 6 years. So that's something we're gonna have to plan for.
I was just curious if you were increasing capacity, that's all.
No, we've been over the past 10 years that I have records for, we're pretty steady. We don't
Yeah.
increase or decrease. It stays pretty much the same. The only thing that's increasing, of course, is our cost of getting rid of the trash. And that happens every year.
Are we getting any decent money on office paper or all?
Right,
I mean,
right
we're-
now, recycling is pulp is really good. So paper products, magazines, newspaper, cardboard, prices are really holding strong.
Oh, good.
Plastics, on the other hand, they're way down. Where we used to get $1,300 a ton for #2 naturals, milk jugs, we're getting 400 now.
Yeah.
But paper is strong, we just did a big shipment last Thursday, I apologize, Thursday.
Mhm.
So that paper is definitely holding good.
And glass is worthless?
Glass is worthless,
Just keeps it out of the land.
glass is
Right.
inert film, basically, we
No.
crush it.
And I think we've talked about this in the past, but is there any markets for, I know the city of Augusta does glass fault. So they break down their glass recyclables and it's mixed with the asphalt, and then that's what they use to lay down for surfaces.
Mhm.
Is there an outlet for our
I
glass like
can't,
that?
I have not been able to sell it. Yeah, is it that's what you're looking at, selling it, I haven't.
Yeah, if there's any sort of a market for
I
something.
haven't been able to sell it and to handle it, to store it, it would take a lot of labor to store it.
Mhm.
So, can I ask a question? So Kenny, what happens to the glass that we
We
diligently
crush it,
take over to?
we crush it and it gets dumped in the back 40 as inert fill, along with ceramic toilets, sinks, that type of stuff.
So it's just.
It's just inert
Clean
fill.
fill.
Yeah, that's all
But
it
you don't wanna
is.
be back there in your bare feet.
I'm sorry?
You don't wanna be back there in your bare feet.
No, probably not.
I don't know that.
Good
I wanna be
advice.
anywhere near my bare feet.
Although I do, we cover, I always cover it with dirt, obviously, and rocks and everything gets turned in and covered.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Yeah, I can tell Melanie's wheels are turning. She's thinking of something.
No, I just, always thinking of ways that we can change up our recycling, because it has been such a very different market from when we were at 20 years ago, when we were trying to get people to recycle, and then everybody was recycling. And we pulled in other towns like Rome and Mount Vernon, and then the recycling kind of came, especially the plastics came
To a screeching
a
halt.
screeching halt. Because we all know that they're not really recyclable. And if there's not the shift that we've talked about with them having to go back to glass or paper products for certain things,
Right.
like your produce and all that, we're finding there's no place to put them except the harbor.
That's right. Now, when you say it's not recyclable, I mean, you talk about the #1 clamshells, in all actuality, they are recyclable. Not for us, but they are a recyclable product. You have to have only that and only that and lots of it. And on the East Coast, there's really no place that's taking them. Would have to go to the West Coast, so for us to do it, it's just not
and they wouldn't be considered clean fill?
clean fill, no,
Well,
no.
it's only
plastic,
gonna take them 50 years to do it,
No.
right?
No,
Because plastics are made
unfortunately.
with petroleum, so you can't.
Yeah, it's the makeup of that plastic, there's adhesives, certain adhesives that keep that together.
that makes it pliable, but.
So we can't mix it with our other number one, it's a clean PETs, number one, water
Yeah.
bottles.
Yeah.
And because Maine, we do have a water bottle bill, 5 cents a bottle,
Right,
when we get very little. As far as water, except in the summertime, it gets lots of that red string.
okay. Anything else for Kenny?
Come on. We're gonna choose you.
What do you think of for a physical structure to house the recycled materials?
Something big, something
Are you
high,
picturing
something
like the
wide.
drop-off kind of bins where having worked for the city of Augusta, when they used to have a great big recycling spot, and folks could come in at off hours and put their recycling in?
No.
Is that something that you're picturing?
No, I wouldn't try, I can't, they have people come in when they're not there, that's actually. Go. That's a DEP rule, you can't be in there if there's not an actual attendant there.
Oh, this was, Scarborough has the same thing. You can just swing up in Scarborough and you can.
They have a recycle bin outside of the
There,
facility.
it's a giant thing and it is like, here's your number ones, here's your number.
Right,
twos,
a petition box.
Yes,
Right, that was not the intent for that building, is for storage, so we have, shipping containers, Connex containers all over the place. So we keep the plastics way up on top of the hill and the paper over here, and then we have other storage down at the other end of the facility. It was to bring everything together, all of our storage that we have of unbaled product. Number fives, number twos, number ones are in another portion of the building. So it's to put all of that in one place. And when those Connex boxes that we use for storage, they're narrow. So when you go in there with the skid steer, you're pretty much bouncing off the walls because it's so narrow. And if you're looking, there's like tire marks all along the walls because the tires are out, it's just, they're narrow. And to get in and out of them, we have to climb up into the container and then back out, you're kind of going up pretty high, so. To eliminate all that, we could store so much more in one place rather than having it all over
Yeah.
the place.
okay, so you're picturing building a building,
But
an actual building.
Yeah.
Okay.
a warehouse, essentially.
Yeah,
An open warehouse, no heat is required, just light,
Now, is there
we can always just start a little fire in it.
doing the ceiling in the recycling center, is that installing a ceiling in the recycling center, is that gonna be to retain heat, or is that gonna be additional storage?
It's already done, ceiling, it was to retain heat.
Okay, because that's what I thought.
It was to retain heat and keep the insulation that was starting to fall out of the ceiling. It was just, it was fiberglass floating around, we had to be able to ceiling fan going and it looked terrible. So yeah, that's,
Seen it years ago.
oh, I know. I'm just saying it looked terrible, now it looks pretty.
yeah.
And yeah, we did that, when did you guys do that? That was just back in December. No, I thought it was over the winter, wasn't it? I, see, I'm terrible with that. It's 5 years ago when I did that.
Now, is there a way with that ceiling installed? Is there anything that we could use that additional space for? Like, is it an accessible?
There's
ceiling?
there's nothing above it.
Okay,
Is that what your question was?
yeah, like,
No, there's
could there be?
there's no space, no.
Okay, because I'm picturing like the giant bags of plastic jumps.
Next time you're in, stop, we'll take a look.
Yeah, just I'm
Tomorrow.
just trying to come up with different, no, oh, I can't come tomorrow, yeah, you're open.
Yeah. today's
Wednesday.
Okay, anything else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If you would extend our thank you for a job well done to your crew. On behalf of the select board, we'd appreciate it.
I tell them every time I'm in, thank you
Yeah,
guys, have a
Sure,
nice
Yeah.
day.
donuts and cupcakes.
As soon as they clear the thing.
I think it was fudge last time.
Oh, fun.
Oh, no, it was chocolate eggs at Easter, right?
Jelly bean.
Did I do jelly beans?
You did jelly
I
bean.
think jelly beans. I have to think of something clever.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Ken.
you.
All right, you're off the hook for another 6 or 7 months.
Okay.
Okay.
Just fine.
Okay.
See ya.
Moving right along, our next order of business is dry hydrant bids. Lorna?
So Dan McKenzie did text, say he is at a family dinner. But if anybody had any questions, to please just text him and he would answer that, and that Doug is at a rescue call. Doug is unavailable.
Okay,
Dan just popped over to let us know if anybody had anything, just text him and he'll get back to us immediately.
So we're from Mantor if you have questions about the proposal.
okay. I figured maybe that's who you were.
Sure.
Okay, do you wanna,
So we received two bids for the dry hydrant installation project, one from Mantor Construction, which is out of Sydney. And the other from Ford Enterprises, which is out of Hope, and I see Dan Ford is on via Zoom. I included the copies of the proposals for each
right,
company so that you could take a look at those, and I believe I included the RFP as well. Yes.
okay. Anyone have any questions for either of these gentlemen?
Well, I have to say to Mantra that the last time we did this, we thought we were a little high compared to the other bid, and then they disappeared.
I kind of thought that might happen,
So,
but there's a lot more than what we asked for your proposal too, that Dan and I talked about. You guys are trying to make a spot for a truck to back off the edge, you know, blocking the road. There's a lot that's not necessarily in print that you guys asked for. So that's why I attached a description last year and then again this year, was because it's really, the dry hydrant's a piece of it, but there's more than that,
Right,
so.
right. And that's pretty tight down where they're putting it in, right? The
Yeah,
road is pretty
and
narrow.
the road's not in wonderful shape, so Dan and I talked to, and I'm pretty sure he mentioned it to the competitor that bid, that. They were he's trying to widen it out so that they have a gravel spot to pull the trucks,
Yeah.
that a car can sneak by. So you gotta somehow retain the material, because you have the lake right there, you have the neighbor that's letting you use the property or the owner of the property. So it's like you're trying to make it look presentable, because it's gonna be there forever,
Right, right.
so.
Okay,
Have you installed many of these in the past?
We've done some, yeah. There's a couple things on the spec that I told Dan I weren't in agreement with. He said, bid it per the plan and we'll discuss them after if you're chosen. One is putting the sleeve with the concrete fill around your suction pipe. It's a big liability. I know they're thinking they're protecting the pipe, but the first guy that hits it with a fire truck's still gonna break the pipe and now you're gonna dig it out. If you were gonna do that, I suggest that we fill it with sand, so you still have something that's easy to repair. But give a little cushion, so if they get back into it, it's a chance it might make it.
Right.
Or potentially some type of wooden bollards around it that you still have. The thing is, sometimes you're trying to protect something more than it's worth than just fixing it if you hit it.
if you hit
And that's kind of the fine line there for this.
it.
Because you put cement, yeah, you have more protection, but when it does break, you're into more expense to repair.
You're fortunate that you got it on a private road over here in Sydney. The town landing road, it's not called that now because it's a flower and I can't remember.
Yeah.
But we installed one there probably 20 years ago. And how I got broke was a wind plow. So we turned around and put two small bollards on either side of it. But not way out, so if somebody backed into it, they'd hit the ball before they could hit.
Before they would hit that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which is just,
which makes sense.
it's one of those that, in this setting, I don't know that it looked nice for the people that own the property, as nice as they keep it. That would be the only reason not to put them. Maybe use 8x8 pressure treated, something that's still, you hit it, but. It's your guys' call on that, it's more money, obviously,
Yeah.
and with bollards. But
Mhm.
I just find in a home setting, bollards are kind of ugly, that's all, and it's kind of woody and it's part of their lawn that we're taking,
That you, yeah,
so.
okay, and we had what, Mr. Ford on? Is there
Yes, Dan.
any
Dan is
questions
on
for,
Zoom.
for anyone else?
So I have a question for Mr. Ford, if I can.
Yes, yeah,
So, Mr. Ford, has your company installed many of these in the past? Perhaps he's having trouble finding the unmute button, don't know.
Dan, are you there?
Can you click on that? If you click on ask to unmute, will that?
And Dan Ford, if you can hear us, or having trouble talking to us, can you just reply in the chat? Is that a possibility?
Mhm.
Okay,
The trucks
I'm not sure about
Yeah.
involvement there.
Okay.
Okay.
My memory is that we allocated up to $35,000 from our ARPA funds to cover this expense. Someone else?
Jim Larson.
Okay. So,
Okay.
yes, I would move that we, accept the bid from Mantra Construction, which will come in under our budget.
I second that.
You second that,
I do.
okay, let's wait for Melanie.
Okay.
Um,
And so we can discuss at this time before, if there are any other questions. So,
Yeah.
so your recollection was we had $35,000 set
yeah,
aside.
35,000 ARPA funds.
And that was verified. Thank you, Lorna, for doing that. So by, so this
No.
quote from the Mantor, company comes in under that budget, which I very much appreciate. But should there be any change orders to the work, you and whoever, Dan and maybe us would have to talk about. What
We should talk about like the protection, that's the biggest piece.
Precisely,
Mhm.
and so for tonight's discussion, I trust that you know more than I do about all of that. So
I
whatever,
don't know if I know more than you, I just know I think concrete around a pipe is not a good idea.
Yeah.
it's kind of stout.
And B, honestly, it's a residential, really nice home that they keep good, so I just was looking at the aesthetics, like building the dirt part, just so you all hear it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put some large rocks around the lake and try to, like, we gotta support their lawn, cause to give you an idea, like, the height of that is the height of the road. Their lawn's down here, we're gonna want it to look really nice and build, sort of speak, a ledge retaining wall or some riprap slope to make it look acceptable.
Yeah, so thank you for that information about that, and I suspect that any of the type of work that may. Be slightly different than the original scope of work, that you just work it out, if should it be.
The biggest thing I would have a question that may, and I said this before to Dan, was no one knows if there's ledge there. So until we start digging the hole, that's the big question mark. It doesn't mean we can't shift it to try to get around enough, but you can walk out to the lake over the trees and you can see ledge probably 6 feet down in the water. The question is, what does it do when it comes to the land? I don't know that.
Yeah,
So when we get there, the first thing is put erosion control in and then make sure we can get it in before we do a lot
you
of.
have to have a DEP, permit to do this?
No, you guys, because it's a dry hydrant, I think you guys already have, Dan told me you had the permission to do it, usually for a dry hydrant, you do not.
Oh, really?
No,
I
If
figured
it is,
any
it's a
digging on the
one-per-
waterfront would need that.
no, because of what it is. It's like, a culvert, you don't even need a permit to replace a culvert by law unless you're doing a change in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Dan knows. what he's
I think
doing,
Dan
so-
said he already talked to them.
Talked to them,
everything.
okay.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with them last year.
Yeah.
Cause I was trying to figure out how to build the truck area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Okay,
So we can always make sure that Dan has that conversation with DEP.
right,
I don't mind either, his name's Keegan, Keegan's probably the one does this area, it's not a big deal.
yeah,
And so as far as any difference in cost between the way we expected requesting a cement pipe protection, whatever the cement
Right.
protection is, something else, whether it's pressure treated wood or something that would be within the same
Yeah,
cost
if it-
parameters.
The other thing is if it's slightly more, and you guys have ability of supplying them, because Hammond will donate them or something, I don't care, I'll put them in, whatever helps the project at that
Okay.
point. For stuff that I have to buy anyways, if you have
Right.
somebody local that can supply it at a better rate or donate it to the fire department, I don't care.
Okay,
yeah,
We'll
Okay.
install it while we're doing it.
okay,
I think it's just me and Dan meeting now. He did say, I just wanna clarify, he said that this was a late fall project because of the water being down and stuff. I
right,
just wanna make sure we're all on the same page, cause I'm like booked for like 15 weeks straight,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
okay.
No
Understood.
summer vacation for you.
We make our money in 20 weeks, you gotta do it.
Melanie, you had stepped out, but, I had moved that we, award the, contract to Mantra Construction. It will be within our $35,000 of ARPA funds.
Perfect.
So, and I think that was seconded.
by
Yes.
Peter.
Do you have any questions, Mr., that you want to?
No, I
Okay.
didn't know.
Okay,
And just so you know, Melanie, we tried to raise Mr. Ford. We were not able to get verbal communication going or chat, so it just
Yeah.
dead ended sort of.
Okay,
So just want you to know that we tried.
thank you.
okay.
So what do you need from us?
Oh,
We
we're.
haven't voted on it
Just a
yet.
second. All in favor, Barbara?
Yes,
Melanie,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes,
Carol says yes. 4 yeses, 1 absent.
now.
Now,
I'll get you proof of insurance, just so you guys have it.
Right.
Can we get a tax exempt form from you guys?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's all, Lorna.
I was gonna
Do I
say,
just
yeah.
have my office reach out to you?
Email, yeah,
Okay,
email
perfect.
him.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no
We
problem.
appreciate
And
that.
you guys wanna circle with Dan that we at least have a conversation by August to get a game plan on these changes so we can order
Absolutely.
materials? Okay,
Absolutely.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay,
It's
thank
gonna
you.
happen.
Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the tax, that's in the table. Okay. Electrical RFP bids.
So we-
Lorna? You want to take us on that one? Take us down that road?
So we put out an RFP, June 21st with a July 1 deadline, which was Monday. We opened proposals and I did scan those out and send those, to you. And then you have hard copies, tonight to take a look at. We received, 2. I don't have that in front of me. I don't have mine in front of me. One from, Dan, main generators. I'm sorry, and then one from Craft Power. So Jeff Larson is from Craft Power. He is on Zoom tonight, and of course,
Okay.
Dan, is available. I think Melanie,
If
you
we
sent
need
him
him.
a text
Okay.
with a question. So those 2 proposals you have had an opportunity to look at, a little bit of difference in pricing.
Okay. Anyone want to start with this one? There was quite a bit of difference in pricing, actually. I think Dan was pricing, Generators Main was pricing at $85 an hour.
Yes.
Am I remembering correctly?
You are correct.
And then Craft is,
15 was it? 115.
115, yeah, substantially. That's a higher rate.
Mhm. So may I ask a question?
You certainly may.
So, Mr. Larson, if you can hear us, so my question would be, could you help describe or describe to us the value added of a 115 per hour rate versus anything else we might see?
Uh, The only thing I could say is, all of our technicians are trained. I don't really know much about Generators of Maine, so I can't compare the two. But I assume we're the distributor for Kohler for your area, all of New England. So as far as Kohler generators go, we do that. We have 25 technicians between Mass, New Hampshire, and Maine. We have 36 rental generators available. If we have a location pretty close to you in Newburgh. That's pretty much it. I mean, we invest a lot in training, and most of our technicians have been with us well over 10 years, some over 20. We probably spend over $100,000 a year in training. So the other thing is we keep about $2 million worth of parts in inventory. $10 million if we're talking spare generators and stuff like that. So I think that helps a large amount on the reliability of the equipment because you don't have to spend as much downtime waiting on parts.
Right. Do you have people local to service or are they coming a distance to get to us?
They're local to Newburgh. We have 2 technicians local to Newburgh. I think one's yeah, well, they're 20 minutes from our office in Newburgh, Maine.
Okay.
Where's Newburgh?
I don't know.
Newburgh's up by Bangor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little west of Bangor.
Yeah.
Maybe 15 or 20 minutes west and a little south.
Okay.
Okay.
Up that way.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Larson. I don't have any more questions. You asked,
Okay.
Carol, you asked the question I was gonna ask. Yeah, second one.
About the availability, yeah, okay. Anyone else have any?
I have no other questions.
No more questions? Okay.
I think we've been happy with Generators of Maine with the service that they've given us.
I think we've been happy with them and they are close by if we need something.
And
Yeah.
I dare say, I did reach out to Dan and I said, any idea what the difference, and it's just because they
Yeah.
live here.
Yeah.
And they've always tried to do the best they could for the town.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I move we award the contract for electrical repair maintenance to Generators of Maine.
second that,
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, Barbara,
Yes.
Melanie,
yes.
Peter?
Yes.
I vote yes, so that's 4 yes and 1 absent. And thank you, Mr. Ford, for submitting. Oh, Mr. Larson, I'm sorry. For submitting an offer, and we'll certainly keep you in mind into the future.
Okay, great. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right,
Thank
thank you. Okay, so that takes your RFP, we tabled the petitions, that's moved ahead. Thanks,
Good night.
thank you.
Good night.
Good night, Cory. Next is the 4th of July holiday. Lorna?
So the city and several municipalities are giving employees Friday, July 5 off along with Thursday, the 4th, to give employees a long holiday weekend. So we would like to request that the board consider giving employees in Belgrade Friday, July 5 off.
Okay.
I can certainly understand.
Oh, no, go ahead, yeah.
I can certainly understand the interest in having a long weekend, but by having Wednesday as our day off midweek, we would then have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of a busy holiday weekend. And my concern is that if people want to have town business conducted, they can't do it on Wednesday. They can't do it, they could do it online. I know they could do it online. but they can't come in person on Wednesday, they can't come on Thursday for the 4th of July, so. I'm not sure that I'm just concerned that we would not be serving towns, people who need town services by closing on Friday.
And I think too, I think it's the current treasurer just doing half a day on Fridays now, or is he on vacation?
He's on vacation, yes.
But I think with everybody picking up the extra slack too, that having that additional day where no one would be here to assist.
Yeah.
And I think the Wednesday, Thursday is fair.
Yeah.
We
I
do
mean,
have
I
coverage,
feel that,
we do have coverage for Friday.
Yes.
Okay.
okay. I mean, my
May,
concern-
may I
people
speak?
Sure.
It's Mary. Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason that this was proposed is because there are a number of municipalities, but it's more than just that. It's that, the state it's completely shut down. Janet Mills recognizes and appreciates the hard work that has been done by the employees for the state of Maine. And in recognition of that, she has awarded the July 5th day off as well. We are in there for 20 hours a week. There are a number of services that are available online. And I feel that, we have worked hard. The board has talked about an employee appreciation day. And to me, in lieu of that, because it was not budgeted for, that the board could consider this an appreciation day for the employees and the hard work that has been done over the past few months. And yes, we are losing our treasurer. I think that, Lorna and I have been working together to make sure that things are continuing normally as possible. But it was more that we will not have the support of the state. All state entities will be closed. We don't always need their assistance, but sometimes we do. And those will be the time, that'll be a time that we won't be able to assist those people. I think that we go out of our way, as do all the other departments, to make sure that that everybody is served regardless. And if we have to stay a few minutes late, we always do that, So I would ask the board to reconsider that decision on not to close. But I know, it is your decision. But I think that it would show appreciation of your employees. And like I said, in the past, you have talked over the past 2 to 3 years about holding an appreciation employee day. And in lieu of that, this could potentially be that. But anyway, that's about all I have to say.
Okay, Barbara?
I guess my concern is today is July 2nd. And we're closed on the 3rd and we're closed on the 4th, and then we say we're closed on the 5th too. And how many of our citizens is that going to inconvenience? That's my concern. That is just, I think July 2nd is very late to make this decision.
Anyone else? Bruce?
As a taxpayer, I don't agree with Friday. I ain't saying that the employees aren't doing a lot, but you're asking a lot to close down 3 consecutive days. If he's gonna do that, then they should have worked tomorrow and then had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. But hasn't been announced, so.
Well,
Right.
so honestly, this request was put in approximately a week ago. And I'm sorry for its late, its lateness. But I guess, this was I said I would put it forward, and, the state entities are closed. But it is the board's decision. So whatever the board decides is fine with us.
Okay, Peter?
Traditionally, is there much business done on Fridays regardless of holiday? Mary, do you have any idea?
So It's hard to predict because the business is up and down, Peter, honestly. Last week was very slow. The week before was extremely busy. It's really difficult to predict, the number of people that will be in. As like on Saturdays, we're open on Saturdays. I have 2 employees who worked on Saturday for 2 people that came into the office for transactions. So, yeah, it's very hard for me to predict. So could it be? Potentially, but who knows?
Understood. And thank you, Mary, for being the person to bring it forward. I know that's not always a comfortable position, so thank you for doing that.
My concern is that this is sort of last minute, but I think there are a lot of people that are coming up to open up camps and get here and register the boats and probably don't even know you can do it online. I mean, if they're not residents here, and to not be able to come to the office sometime over that 5 days. Because by Monday, they're probably, many of them could be heading back. So for me, that I just feel as though it's a long, long time without having the office open. So,
And I would like to suggest that we look at the 2025 calendar or even the holidays going forward, because we have a list of all the recognized holidays, which are what, 11, 12?
13, I think.
13 at this point.
Right.
And so if we, we know that July 4th was on a Thursday, all year. So if we want to look ahead further for another year to say, oh, gee, July 4th is going to be on Thursday, or it's going to be on Tuesday. Maybe we should have the Friday or the Monday off as well, and publicize that well in advance. Mary, that's my concern, is just throwing this, on a Tuesday night, saying, oh, sorry, we're not going to be open for the rest of the week. That's my concern.
Yeah.
Right. And I do agree, it is late. We did not know that the state entities would all be closed. And I don't only ask for our department, I ask for all departments, because I think it's fair straight across the board that every department receive this consideration of appreciation of their employees for this time period. And I do see some things in the chat, and anyway, so I would hope that they would be responded to by our town manager. Anyway, so, I said I would bring it forward. I was asked, and that's what I've done. So anyway, it is the board's decision, and I do agree it is late. But I did ask a week ago that this be placed, or sent to the board, so.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
You did.
we couldn't consider it until tonight.
Right.
Can we see what's in
Laura,
the
I
chat?
can't see what is in the chat. I'm sorry.
We're gonna need a monitor in front of us for the old eyes, because
Penny Morel,
because we got nothing.
The employees already got a pay raise.
If you could just read it out so it's
The
read to the record.
employee's already got a raise in pay and should be willing to work. Why does Mary have people work? Isn't that the job of the town manager? Our employees are appreciated and well compensated. Mary, as a department head, has deputy clerks who work under her, so she has supervisory
Responsibility.
yes,
Yeah,
over her deputies.
So may I respond to that?
Certainly.
Okay. So to answer the question of why does Mary have people work, we all took turns. There are 3 Saturdays that we are open, and we all took turns on working those Saturdays. So the last Saturday, 2 of the deputies were the working people. Not all people got a pay raise, so I do want that person to know that. And I do appreciate that. I'm glad to hear, or to read that, we are appreciated. And yeah, we're well compensated. I will not disagree on that. But I said I would bring it forward on behalf of all the employees. And so this is my effort to do that. And I know it is late, and I do agree with some of the board's comments. I do know that, the board has spoken about holding an employee appreciation day, and having a gathering, and that hasn't happened in the last 4 years that I've been here. It hasn't been budgeted for, hasn't been a consideration, but maybe in the future it will be. So that's about all I have to say on that.
Okay, all right, does anyone want to make a motion?
I will that the town offices stay open as usual on Friday, July 5th.
Right, July 5th,
I'll second
you'll
that.
second that? Okay,
And I would like to add to that in order to serve the citizens of Belgrade.
right,
And we do greatly appreciate the staff and know that the state is closed. But we feel that at this late time in the
great
week,
time,
that the town offices need to be open.
okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, Melanie,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
I vote yes, so 4 yes, one absent. And I do think it's a great idea, Barbara, that we look ahead for the holidays that are remaining. And see if there's something that we may want to switch, or maybe just see what's there. And it's not that we don't appreciate the staff, I don't think it's anyone saying that.
Correct.
It's just
Correct.
that we do feel that to serve the town people, we need to do that.
Yeah, before we get to the next one, I say something.
I'm sorry,
Before we get to the next one, I just want to say something before we open that.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry, no.
You wanted to say something before we move on?
Oh, okay,
And I want to make sure to add to what Melanie had to say is that I think part of it was could we somehow plan a staff appreciation day?
Mhm.
Mary brought it up. Melanie reinforced the notion. So if
right,
we could keep that on our radar.
Right.
Because that is really super important
important that we do that, I agree with you, absolutely,
So I'm sorry.
yeah,
That's okay.
Right, and we have done a holiday party, we've done, one year we did a
and we
summer
had burgers,
kickoff
we
or
did
a,
soup, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, but.
so I mean, we haven't necessarily labeled something employee appreciation,
Right,
but we have tried to do some
things along the way.
something along the way to recognize or to show appreciation.
Okay.
Maybe it wasn't stated obviously.
So the next item on our thing, I'm not sure if that was intended to be done in public, because that is generally not something that we announce ahead of time, because it's more of a surprise.
Right,
So should we
I don't
consider an
know.
executive, have a short executive session afterwards?
Well, and I don't know, this person has already seen the agenda. But we generally, when we do that as a,
we
That's
could do a
nice.
short executive session if we want to, if everyone's in agreement,
Yes.
okay? So, I move that the employee thank you bonus be, moved to the, executive session immediately following the meeting, or at the very end of the meeting.
Okay.
Second, yes,
Yes, I will
oh,
certainly.
Melanie,
yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
I'll vote yes, 4 yeses, 1 absent,
Who seconded that?
Peter. Okay.
He's in charge of seconding.
Yeah. Okay, that brings us to other business. Is there any other business?
Oh, I have, one thing that, I wanted to, bring up about the short-term rental ad hoc committee. That we now have 3 people on that. I have someone else who is interested, who could bring a lot to the table, who asked questions that I. what the structure of the meetings was going to be, how often we were going to work, how often the committee was going to meet, and those sorts of things. So, I don't need necessarily answers tonight, but I just wanted to make sure
So for next meeting that we
that
get
we,
thoughts together on it.
since we already have three people.
Three people, and I
on the
have-
committee and a
I have
fourth.
someone else who's said they're willing to go on it, but I haven't gotten much.
So,
Appointment back.
and I didn't have, when this person asked me yesterday, I haven't had it about, you know, what the charges are. I couldn't remember if we had an actual charge to the
Okay.
committee. I mean, I know it was to investigate short-term rentals and make a recommendation to the select
Maybe
board,
if
but
Laura could pull the minutes, what we did, similar to what you did for the.
yeah, for the Center for All
Season
Seasons.
Strategic
Sure.
Planning.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
would be great.
When I saw that, that's what John would, well, I was also talking
Yeah.
with this person.
Okay, anything else under other business?
Yes, Mary had, brought this, the senior bylaws,
Oh, yes.
the resource committee bylaws, currently the committee structure is 10 people consisting of residents, seasonal residents and ex officio people with vested interest in the community, and I believe she, asked if that could be increased to 12. Is that correct, Mary?
That was my recollection,
Yeah.
that they wanted to go from 10 to 12.
She's still there on it.
Oh, is
yeah,
she? Okay.
Yeah. Mary?
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can now.
Mary,
Okay.
on the senior resource committee bylaws, you were looking to have that increased from 10 to 12, is that correct?
That is correct. We have a couple of people that are snowbirds and it's hard for them to be participants. We really need some active participants. We have generated some interest with others that would like to be part of the committee. So we would like to expand our numbers from 10 to 12.
Mary, do you
Yes,
think 15 would be appropriate?
I think 15 could work. We're also looking at developing a Friends of the Senior Resource Committee, those participants that would like to be semi-active and aren't capable of being, but so we're looking independently of developing a Friends of the Senior Resource Committee. But I think 15 would be good. We do have a couple of snowbirds. All of our people are really, really good. I appreciate everything that they do. They work hard. But there are a few that are away during the winter months. And so it leaves a lot of the job responsibilities to just a few of us. Yeah, so if the board would consider expanding, if you want to expand to 15, I'm happy to, make the amendments to the bylaws and submit those to the Board of Select Persons.
Mary, will that make a problem as far as quorum if you move to 15?
I don't think so because our board is only advisory. Our board does not have any real authority. It comes from the Board of Select People. So, we're an advisory board, but it helps to get us a number of actively working people on the committee. So,
Right, and you have a new member tonight.
yes, we do. Yes, we do. So I'm not sure what happened to the other two, but I know that they were very interested in being on it, and maybe it was the time change. I'm not sure. I will
Could be.
reach out to them because they were both very interested. So,
Okay,
All right, so do we need a motion, Mary, to change the number of members for that? Or would you bring the bylaws to the next meeting and then we would approve them with that change?
right. It's however the board would like to do it. I mean, if you want to just approve it, I'll make an amendment and just submit it for the board's information, or I can amend it and bring it to the next board meeting.
Why don't we do it that way and
Yeah.
then it's all amended and agreed upon and part of the record.
Yeah.
Yes.
So amend it and bring it.
Amend it
Yes.
and bring it next meeting,
And if you
okay?
need a motion,
All right.
I think a motion that you increase the size to 15 members.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Lorna?
Yes,
Okay.
we received. We received the. Let's see here, the dispatch, the new contract, City of Waterville. The increase, which we budgeted for, is $753. For this year, because it's July to June contract, so. Just $753.
Do we have that, our budget?
Yes,
Okay. So this is, would be to approve the new
Yes.
contract from, is
Yes.
it Waterville Dispatch?
yes,
Okay. I would move that we approve the new contract with Waterville Dispatch, which includes a increase of $753 over last year.
Yeah, sure, I will second that.
Any discussion from anyone? All in favor, Melanie?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
I'll vote yes, that's 4 yes, 1 absent. Okay. Anything else?
I have one more. Jed River got a hold of me, if you remember, they're the ones who provided diesel fuel for us last year. We went with AFC this year. So Jed River alerted me because their contract ran out the end of June, that we had gallons still available to use. And they wanted us to use them, so I had asked them to send me something they did yesterday. I got a hold of Paul at Augusta Fuel, he came in and spoke with me this morning, we talked about it. The price for the unused gallons was with Dead River $3.17 a gallon. And what Paul was offering us through Augusta Fuel was $3.36 a gallon, so almost 20 cents difference. But speaking with Paul, he said absolutely that we should extend our current contract with Dead River and use up those gallons at $3.17 a gallon. He said not to worry about Augusta Fuel, what we had contracted with them on, that he will deliver these gallons to us and the bill will come from Augusta Fuel, so.
So they'll work it out
saving-
internally.
Yeah, saving 20 cents a gallon. So that was good.
And we have a lot of gallons,
Yes, 1,000.
1,000 gallons, so.
Okay. Yeah.
So to me, this is great news. So I move that we extend our contract with Dead River to take advantage of our unused gallons. At $3.17 a gallon and coordinate it through Augusta Fuel.
Second.
Any discussion?
May I speak?
Oh, yes, who's,
Who is
That's
This is-
Anthony. I
Yeah,
recognize
so,
his voice.
oh,
so you folks are now taking action on a second item that is not actually on your agenda. I would pose to you that that's not within the bounds of the law. That if you're going to be taking action or meeting an executive session for personnel matters, both of those things should be posted on your agenda.
it was my understanding that if other business came in that needed to be acted on, that we were within bounds to do that.
I would encourage you to talk to the May Municipal Association about that. I think they may have a different interpretation of the law.
Okay, we can certainly do that.
Yeah, because I think we have in the past, Anthony, because that was a concern of mine with transparency. I was told that it's within the rights of the board and we can do that.
Perhaps so, and perhaps I'm mistaken about what the law says, but I definitely know you should not be meeting in executive session about personnel matters unless that is listed on the agenda as such and cited.
Okay. So does the board want to, Laura?
I just wondered who seconded that motion
Uh,
for Augusta Fuel.
Barbara did,
Okay, thank you.
okay. So we have a motion on the floor. Do we choose to vote on it?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor, Barbara,
Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes as well.
And let's double check with.
We'll double check
Maine
with
Municipal.
Maine
Yeah, I'll make a
Municipal,
note.
Yeah.
okay? It's, you know, it's certainly not our intent to not have them on the agenda, but these came up fairly quickly, so.
Well,
And needed action, so.
I do have other business, if there is something like that, we should all have something in front of us too. We do
Mhm.
that. So the, you know, might be 5 items, might be 15.
Bruce?
When you guys get to what the ruin was from Maine Municipal, what their opinion is, can we get that in public forum, so we all know what it is? Cause I've always disagreed with this other business, cause it's not in the packet, it's not. You know, you can't look at it. You know, nobody can look at it, anybody that's, you know, none of us can see it, we have no clue what's going on.
We certainly will report back on it, yep,
Yeah, make
absolutely.
it sure it's in public, so everybody knows what's going on.
yep,
Thank you.
absolutely. Okay. Can we move on to warrants?
Yes.
Okay. I move that let me get my list here. Where's my list go? Yeah, I'll take it. I know where I put mine. Okay, I move that we pay warrant number 69. AP warrant number 69 in the amount of $9,315.87.
Second,
All in favor, Melanie,
yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. That's 4 yeses, 1 absent. I move we pay warrant, we pay payroll warrant number 70 in the amount of $31,471.37.
Second,
All in favor, Melanie,
yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
I'll vote yes, 4 yeses, 1 absent. I move we pay AP warrant number 71 in the amount of $622,356.72.
I'll second that.
Okay, so on the AP warrant number 71, does anyone have any questions or need any explanations? If we're all set?
Yeah, stop me.
Okay, all in favor, Melanie,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
I'll vote yes, so 4 yeses, 1 absent. I move we pay, payroll warrant number 73. 72, I'm sorry, in the amount of $31,353.31.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, Barbara,
Yes.
Melanie,
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
I'll vote yes, that's 4 yeses and 1 absent.
Did Barbara, second that?
I think it's a tie.
It was a tie. I think,
Paper, scissors.
yeah, I think Melanie by your nose, I think.
Okay, so we're now to payroll
73.
warrant 73. I move we pay payroll warrant number 73 in the amount of $36,433.57.
AP warrant number.
Oh, does that AP? I don't have it.
It-
Okay, AP warrant. Sorry.
Second,
Okay, all in favor, Melanie,
yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes, so that is 4 yeses, 1 absent. And then, I move we pay payroll warrant number 74 in the amount of $1,507.44.
Second.
All in favor, Melanie?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes,
I'll vote yes, so 4 yeses, 1 absent. Okay. Lorna, we are to the town manager's report.
So I attended the Katie Cog Planning Day, comprehensive plan committee meeting. We did a meeting with a representative from Senator Collins' office, and we toured, 2 of the 3 fire stations. Carol Johnson, Corey Alexander, Dan Newman, Bruce Galouche, and Dan McKenzie were all with us. And it was really, I think she found it very interesting, enlightening. She took pictures, asked questions. She'll be back the 30th to tour the Lakes Fire Station. MMA's risk management rep did make a visit today. He did the Dalton properties, transfer station and fire stations and our parks. So he'll get a report to me of anything he found. Still waiting on the approval for the belgrademaine.gov domain. The upcoming meetings scheduled within a week or 2. Fire and Rescue is meeting next Wednesday on the 10th at 6:30. Planning Board moved their meeting this week to next week, so they'll meet the 11th. Senior Resources Committee will meet the 22nd, Lakes and Natural on the 9th, and Comprehensive Plan will be meeting on July 17th. The new backup ACO was appointed, Eric Johnson. He is certified and works in both Greenfield and Mount Vernon. He is available to provide coverage or vacation time when Jeff is away. We received the updated contract for our website. The payment is included on the AP warrant for the July 2 meeting. I believe I forwarded that out to everyone, so you can have a look. Again, CMP provided those coordinates for the streetlights, so we now have a good list. I did put a list in the file, streetlight file in the file.
You don't want to do that again, right?
Right. I reviewed the cemetery ordinance and could not find a provision for purchases to go before the committee. I could not find a policy for that, so this is something I thought we may want to think about in a finance policy. Privacy film for the, there was a question about privacy film for the windows. That is the 2 door windows in the small meeting room. And the door, you'll see that from this large meeting room into the hall. You'll see that you can't see through that.
Oh, this
And
door.
so, yes,
This
it
one.
offers some privacy.
Okay, because I was thinking. hall.
Yes.
Large
So
meeting
if
room
you're
and
doing
hall.
an executive session in here. then-
Okay, I get it, okay.
I had a report of a vehicle sitting mostly in the road at the corner of 135 and the West Road last week.
So I'm happy to report that not only was the vehicle removed, but the broken down vehicles were moved to the side so that they can all now park in the driveway.
Oh, so it worked.
So it worked out really well, and nobody hit the vehicle.
Yeah, that would have been horrible.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
awful.
terrible.
Yeah. I requested any dig safe applications from facilities for the last 2 years, and I also checked the office for a folder. Facilities let me know that contractors who do the work for the town are the ones who file those dig safe forms and take care of that piece. I believe Mary did find a folder. They were dig safe copies. We get copies of anyone in Belgrade that files. We get copies via email, so Mary prints those and they just go into a folder.
Or any current ones.
I get them.
Contact DigSafe, they will tell you if there's any from the town of Belgrade, and they can send us them if we're missing any.
I have not contacted them, but I can do that.
So I think that might be the easiest route.
I'll make a note. I'll make a note to do that. The electrical and propane RFP was posted June 21. You took care of that tonight. Dumpsters for Center for All Seasons, they've had a dumpster there with Waste Management since I pulled on Trio 2019, but it's been longer than that. Gregory's has a dumpster at the Workman Field and we've taken that over. That was in place previously. We used Gregory's at the North Belgrade Community Center because of cost. But we do have a contract with Waste Management for the transfer station, and they said that they would match that price. So Corey is going to swap that out. There are events at each of those locations over weekends and evenings, and it makes a lot of sense to have a dumpster that is taken care of, especially for sanitation reasons and keeping our facilities looking the best they can. I checked with Corey on a contract with AAA for porta potties after not finding one in our contract binders. I called AAA and we do not have a contract with them. We use them each year, but there is no contract in place. Stanley's is new and matched the price of AAA. We did decide to try them out in the village. Those are the two red porta potties. But Corey does like AAA better and will use them next year at that location. Yeah, I think he said Stanley's is not putting the sanitizer.
Yes, there wasn't any
Which
sanitizer.
AAA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Facilities is purchasing chemicals for all cleaning. They will add paper items as well, so paper towels and toilet paper. Received a complaint of an overflowing dumpster at Pinkham's Cove, so that has been taken care of. I had a request.
Is that our dumpster?
No,
So why did we take care of it?
I didn't, all I did was call the company and let them know that it was overflowing.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I
so,
thought like we went to.
no, they called me as LHO. And said that there was trash overflowing and, it was not sanitary, it was going into the lake, etc. So I had them identify the company and maybe a phone number on the container, which they did. They called me back, so I called them and they did come out. It actually gets dumped every Friday, so they did do it next day. So that was good. I had a request from a resident to provide map data to On X, and I had never heard of this. But it's an app you can get on your phone.
We have it.
You do.
Yes.
It's for hunters,
Yeah, it
right?
is. It's a wonderful app. It's mainly a hunting app.
Right.
But it'll show who owns what property, the
Right.
plot of land, the outline, and yeah, it's very
Okay,
nice.
so I had someone
For
stop
the
in.
state.
I had someone stop in and ask why Belgrade was not on this, and I had never heard of it, so I said, I don't know. But I'll check on it, and they said that Sydney was on. So I pulled it up online, I could not find any place where we might contact someone to give data or find out how to add data. I did point out to the person who asked this, that we do have our new GIS mapping online, which shows the property borders and all that. But it's it's our website and it's not an app, so it is a little different, I get that. I showed Mary because I really had not heard of this and I couldn't find anything that would be helpful, so she called Sydney to find out how they got their map data on there, and Sydney had no idea they were even on there. So,
The company usually goes onto the town website.
so I think, yeah, that's why I told me, I said, I bet they're going and they're pulling data. And then, which I appreciate because it's public, but then they're charging people to use the app.
Oh, yeah, it's $20, $30
Yeah,
a
so-
year. Yeah,
Interesting. Anyway.
we do.
I did have a GA applicant, I met. Oh, that's a duplicate, sorry. We have a few applicants for the treasurer position and we'll be reviewing those. We do have one scheduled, early next week.
Tax bills were out in the mail June 28.
Mhm.
They were also posted to the town's website June 27. The Maine CDC has issued a PFAS advisory for McGraw Pond and Salmon Lake as highly affected water bodies. They recommend consumption of any fish from these lakes to be 1 meal per month or less. And Messalonsky Stream has a guideline of no more than 3 meals per year of fish. Children under the age of 8 should avoid eating fish from any of these water bodies. And residents can contact the Maine CDC for additional information. And I've got this posted on our website and our Facebook page. And Seven Lake also sent out a mass email to their contact list. That's where I got the first heads up about it. I did have a request come in that we send either email or direct mail to all residents on all of these water bodies to alert them. Mary and I did speak about it today. It's super difficult to get a list of those properties. It is something that the assessor's office would need to do. So I believe Rob is in. This is Colleen Clayville's church, and I saw Pastor Carol. I believe Rob is in the 8th, so I could ask him about that process.
So I guess I got a kind of a foolish question is, how's that work for, camps pulling water out of these bodies of water?
They shouldn't be using water out of the lakes. They shouldn't be using it for drinking water.
Right, they don't, but I'm just saying. And the other thing is on the Belgrade Stream, do they have a portion of the Belgrade Stream or the whole Belgrade Stream? Because I know where the contamination occurred on the Belgrade Stream, it's from 135 east, but.
What I put in here was, exactly what,
CDC.
Seven Lakes and CDC are putting out. And I didn't see anything that, determined any sort of a particular spot on the stream. They just referenced Messalonsky Stream. So when Rob is in Monday, I will, so it's not Mary.
Yeah, no, that's here.
I thought it was Mary.
It's not Mary. Do you guys hear that?
It's an alarm.
Yeah.
Like a battery.
A
that's-
low battery charge.
Right.
Yeah.
If you can
Seacoast.
figure. Oh,
I
is
get
it
that one.
Seacoast?
Yeah, BC Coast.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway, so I'll speak with Rob Monday and see what he has to say.
And can I add something there?
Yes.
The problem on McGraw Pond, which feeds into Salmon Lake, is from seepage from the former Oakland landfill that wasn't properly sealed.
Right. Working on the comprehensive plan has shown that we do not have a capital investment policy. This is something I will be working on to bring to the board for consideration at a future meeting. I know that's important. You saw you didn't see, you already know the value of when we saw Ken speaking earlier, having that 3, 5, and 10-year plan in place so that the board knows what we're looking at, what we have to plan on. It's good to have something in place so that we ensure it gets done, but it's done the same for all departments. We will be requesting the board revise, you already did that, the senior resource bylaws to increase that.
Lorna, to follow up on the comprehensive plan, I would like to suggest that we invite the comprehensive plan committee to present to the board at an upcoming meeting, because they are organizing for a public information session
In September.
So I think it would be good if we invite them to come before the board and just talk about what the plans are for that meeting and how it would work and what everybody's role would be. The committee talked about that at the last meeting.
Yes.
Maybe that should be the August report,
August, the first.
August,
meeting in
the August
because we just
meeting.
done the July.
Yeah.
Unless,
if the chair would be available.
Perhaps the board would like to come to the next comprehensive plan committee meeting.
Ah.
Some people, oh, well, it's at 5:30 on
Yes,
Yeah.
5:30 on July 17th.
17.
I also wanted to mention that, the summer residence meeting is July 23. So we'll want to, be thinking, what we want to put
We'll need to
together.
make
for
sure
that.
that-
That's coming.
for next meeting.
You do have a meeting, before then, your next
Right.
meeting.
So can I say, Anthony is correct. We normally have that little blip there for the executive session, which we don't have, so I would respectfully request that we put that on in our next meeting.
That was moved up top because of the executive session we were going to have.
Oh, yeah,
Because that would, I think, still give us enough time to do that.
Yes.
okay. Anything else? Come before the board? If there's nothing else, then I would move. Before we do that, Peter, you emailed something, I just made a note to myself, about debt service or question that you wanted us to get on the agenda.
Yeah,
If we'll do that, see, tell us what you were thinking.
sure. So thank you, Lauren, for sending out the information you had done. I think it was last Thursday or Friday. And I was looking at the attached documents, and one of them had to do with debt service and, so the year-to-date expense. I'm not, as up to speed as everybody else is about how that works, so I was hoping just to get some more information about that.
Sure, so we have, two debt service obligations. One is for the road bond and one is for the town office building. So we make an annual payment each year for those two items. The other piece you saw listed was $3,050. That was the legal fees we paid for the TAN this year. We've drawn no money on the TAN this year, so that's, a couple of years in a row. So we're in our budget, within our budget for those debt service items. We won't go over. We have one more payment, and that's the town office payment that is due this year. That is due in September. And that is payment 9 of 13. Principal will be $40,911.98. And interest will be $8,980.44. And that is due September 25.
Thank you, Laura. So it sounds like, because what came up when I was looking at it was, how we were year to date for the overall expense. So it looked closer to the, a higher amount had been spent, percentage wise than other expenses, but that's because it comes in chunks, right? It's like-
Correct, yes, we only have one more payment, and that's the town office building payment. I believe we've got 60,000 left in the budget, and that town office payment will be the 49,000 out of that, so. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And I had another question, that I had posed. And
Yeah.
we can talk, we don't have to talk about it now, but at some point, just to look at, roles and responsibilities relative to, when there are properties that are running into some serious issues, if they're abandoned, for example.
Abandoned.
Yeah.
Yes, so, again, that feels like very unfamiliar ground to me.
Mhm.
And I was hoping we could talk about it, if we want to put it at an upcoming agenda, meeting as an agenda item, please. Is it-
Let me see how crowded the 16th is, and if not the 16th, do it at the first meeting in August,
Sure.
just so that we keep it current.
Keep it,
If But I do know we have a lot of things we've sort of loaded onto the 16th.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Nothing for agenda. Lana, could you send out, once Nick gets the first 6 month financials out for the budget committee? Just so we are prepared for any questions come up at the non-residents meeting, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
he's on vacation this week,
Yeah, no rush,
I
as long
think
as
he'll
we
be
have it.
back in Monday and then he's kind of part-time.
Yeah, as long as we have it before we have the. non-residents
Okay,
meeting.
if nothing else, I move we adjourn at 8:50.
Second.
Melanie seconds, all in favor, Barbara?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
I'll vote yes, 4 yeses and 1 absent. So thank you, Mayan.